F&B, even before this the tariff reduction, we weren't that well priced. I know you have to make a profit. Nobody says you don't make a profit. You have to make a profit. But the reality of the matter is, for example, on Viti Levu, there's only Naviti Resort that did an all-inclusive deal. You know, you get your breakfast, lunch, dinner. A lot of, in particular, if you look at the segmentation of the tourism sector to Fiji, mainly, you know, families, etc., that we get bulk of it. Case in point, Mauritius a few years ago did exactly what Fiji was doing. The government then decided that the number of tourists coming in was very low. They decided to put in place a set of regulations that would mandate hotels to have inclusive deals. They not have separate room rates and separate food, beverage, and every time you fork out money. But even before they mandated it, you know, from a regulatory perspective, the hotels all got together and do the same. Their numbers actually shot through the roof. You should talk to Andre, C of FJ, because he ran Air Mauritius for a number of years. He has a very good experience with this. And so Fiji was not able to do that. And there was still a lot of fat that could have been taken off, and need to look at the entire structure of it. Of course, now it has become even more, you know, easier to do that. But I hope that this brings about a change within the thinking of the tourism sector in Fiji. And we've been saying this for years, but nobody's been doing it. You need to be there to be able to compete. You can't say, yes, Fiji is a good product. No doubt Fiji is a good product. The disposable income of people living in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, USA, everywhere is going down. A lot of people are unemployed. Even if people have got a pay cut now, if they're still on a holiday, they'll be looking at deals. It goes now to the domestic sector. Hotels have now opened up to domestic sector. Ordinary Fijians who could not go on a holiday are now going to resorts that they only dreamt about. But you see, the issue is this. Even before this, even if they wanted to, for example, stop over at a resort to have a coffee, and maybe even a lunch, they weren't actually allowed to go into the resort. You could not go into a resort. They would turn you away because you're a Fijian, period. That has to change. Let's not drop the Fijians soon after this. If the borders open up, please don't close the gates to Fijians. They are also a source of revenue. You go to Australia, you go to New Zealand, you go to various other countries in the world where a local wanting to go into a hotel can go. I mean, Holiday Inn allows people to go and drink beer and, you know, have a cake or maybe even a lunch. Why can't the others do it? And you know, it's quite horrific, and there are a lot of former Fijians who now, you know, are coming back home or used to come back home before COVID-19, and a lot of them who rang up and complained. They would be in their family members' cars, they've done well, they were stopping by at one hotel to drink coffee, showing off a little bit of their affluence they've gained whilst going overseas. Maybe the rental car. They see the face, they turn them away. That's not right. And that needs to change. And that's the cultural change we're talking about.
Absolutely.
The hotel industry must take on board. And I mean, I was a few days ago in one of the resorts, without naming it. Very good food. The prices were fantastic. All the locals actually buying food. What they were telling me, they were quite surprised. Generally, when locals come, they'll go and eat outside.
Right.
They'll go to the town and eat outside or bring their takeaway or what have you. But every meal they were actually eating within the restaurant, resort restaurant. So I think going forward, I mean, I don't necessarily want to respond to that, but what I'm saying is that messaging must come through to the Fiji Hotel Association and everybody else, because we can see that, you know, there's obviously a market here. I mean, it's obviously not enough to cater for the fallout from the you know, overseas market, but we must value every single customer.